Boys and girls, welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am all sorts of excited to talk to you boys and girls. We get to do the call-in show. It's been a long time since we did the call-in show, basically since last week. But I didn't do one this week because I had family over yesterday, so I decided we got some news. Mike Williams news. The New York Jets have a new wide receiver, 1 year up to $15 million. I want to hear from you boys and girls. You know the drill. 3 minutes on the clock. After 3 minutes.
That's it! You're out of here!
That's right, you're out of here. So if you'd like to call-in number is pinned to the QR code on the screen. You can scan that if you'd like to come in. Or, if I am smart enough, I will actually have this queued up to go to the live chat in just a second. Give me uno momento. All right. Bam. Link is dropped in the chat. If you guys would like to head over there, I will pin this for us as well. We've got Jake joining the show. Give me 1 second, Jake, and I will get over to you. Just want to make sure I have this squared away the correct way. All right. So, pinned comment has the live chat call-in number. When you click on that link, you'll be put in like a holding room. Just sit there, wait. I don't want my computer to get bogged down because if I let everyone into the chat at one point, it all goes crazy. So we got Jake and then Lima Bean. You'll be up next. Let's head over to Jake. Jake, how you doing tonight, brother?
Man, what a crazy week it's been. Honestly, we've given, was Sleepy Joe a lot of crap, but I mean, listen, he's definitely stepped up and did the things he needs to be doing, like the necessities for this team. So I will give him that. Now, boys and girls, we're not done yet. We got a lot more work to do. This draft is still going to be the next big step forward we have to figure out, and I think it's fairly evident. I know all the Daniel Jeremiah stuff about Marvin Harrison. That's a pipe dream, whatever, but they have to trade down. I think it's a no-brainer now that they need to get more options and prepare for, yes, the injuries of Mike Williams can happen. The injuries of Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses can happen. I want to have plan A through Z ready. So as much as I'm happy for the news today, let's be smart, practical fans and understand we need to have plans ready to go so we're not in chaos like we were last year. I think that's a fair assessment.
Now, do you see, like, who's someone coming up for, like, where do you think the Jets are going to have to trade down? In my mind, I've sort of, like, locked into, like, I think the top 4 picks are going to be quarterbacks because of the Giants sitting at 6 and where even though the Chargers, I think, are the most likely to trade out of 5, I feel like if the Cardinals are going to get offered something, if the Cardinals are capable of moving, I think it's going to be the Broncos and it's going to be the Raiders that are going to have to leapfrog the Chargers, obviously, to get their quarterback. So if 4 quarterbacks go, even just before the Jets pick, is there a player that you think a team wants to come up for, or how far back would you be willing to go for the Jets?
I do. I just thought about this in the last 20 minutes. I've been busy all day, but well, first off, if we trade down with the Broncos or the Raiders, that makes us a 3rd-round pick. That's not going to suffice unless we want to take all those 3rd-round picks and move up. Then we're kind of just negating the 3rd round. The
I am
team
kind of all
quietly,
right with that too.
it's
But go on, go
possible.
on.
I think the team we're not talking about, and it could shock a lot of people, are the LA Rams. I think they right
Ooh,
now know
interesting.
they don't have the solution right now to after Matthew Stafford, who's had some injuries. I think
Mhm,
Sean McVay really has proven he's won a Super Bowl. He knows he's got a young roster to work with. He's got Puka. He's got all these guys. He needs to have that young quarterback. Um, the quarterback who's the Georgia kid that like was drunk or whatever had a bad I forgot his name. I can't believe this, even though I know a Georgia of our people. And then Jimmy Garoppolo has already gotten suspended for a few
mhm,
games. He's got injury problems. So you really have to think about what is their future beyond this year, unless they really want to go all the way with Stafford as long as possible. But if you really think about it, they go to 19, and
mhm.
that's really going to, yes, Stenson Bennett. Thank you, Rico. That gives
Stenson
them
Bennett. Yeah.
plenty enough ammunition to get to a second round pick back and maybe even like a fourth round pick or a third round pick next year if they don't want to take maybe a fourth rounder this year. Because if you really look through all the options, the only other teams I can look at are like maybe like the Buccaneers, but they just gave Baker the money.
Mhm,
So I think at the end of the day, the point of what I'm trying to say is that they have to get a second round pick. That we did discuss the 2, 3 rounders.
mhm,
But the fact is, right now, that's the only team I could see that gets us the second rounder that will put us in the position to get one of the receivers we want to get in the second round, or maybe get in the first round, whatever they can. They have to. I think the order is line first and then receiver second because you
mhm,
know you're going to need that lineman immediately based on Tyron Smith's history. Where Mike Williams, I think there's a little bit more hope that goes with it.
mhm.
So that's my honest take. I think if they can do that and get through offensive line in the draft, we've got plenty of time. But I think that's going to be the most efficient way for them to really have this completed off season, bearing they'd make some moves in June or July, and then get to training camp and feeling fairly confident. That's how
I
I
love
feel,
it.
or feeling kind of confident.
Jake,
Thank you so much for the call. You've been
that's it. You're
ejected
out of here.
from the cockpit. Boys and girls, if you'd like to call in, the call-in number is on the screen. We're going to go to Lima Bean. I see Hunter, Tigo, Jimmy, and Cameron on the line. Just hang tight, guys. I will get to your calls. King in Dreams says, Jet up. I love it, baby. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's head over to Lima Bean. Lima Bean, how you doing tonight, brother?
Pretty good, man. Mike Williams. I mean, we got tackles, we got wide receivers. It's a good start. Like, yeah, we have a long way to go still. I'm still not until we get every contingency plan in order. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
satisfied yet. So I think we should draft both a tackle and a wide receiver. I just don't know what order yet. That just really
Mm,
depends. But that's my first top two picks. I think a trade back would probably be most beneficial.
mm,
Um,
I agree.
Honestly, I got to see what Joe Blewett says about like the wide receivers because I don't have that much information on them. Like I've been so checked out on this year's draft for some reason, just more so than the average.
Mm.
But
Well,
like
it's
I
because the
mean, I
Jets
already know.
season was such garbage. It's hard to like put in the extra energy to like,
Yeah, usually that's when I'm in most in the draft, because I'm like ready. But like this time, I was just so I don't know, broken with the team. I was like, I don't know
mm,
anymore, So, but I got to see what Joe Blewett says about him because he knows his stuff. He's been taking his roses on Traylon Burks. He like he was right on him from the get go. So
oh yeah,
um,
he was
and
right on
I don't know.
Evan Neal as well.
Yeah, no, yeah, Matt's boy. I'll never forget, man. But I want to tell you something. I was watching your stream earlier with the
Mm.
three of you, and I bet you Green Bean's favorite signing is who's that tight end Yaboa. That's his favorite signing so far.
It
Yeah, just
absolutely is. He was tickled pink. Our group chat exploded as soon as that happened. We're like, oh, your boy's back, Green Bean.
Yeah, that's it. We don't need Bowers. We got Yaboa. That's what he's saying. But
We're
yeah,
totally fine.
so yeah, I'm not so high on Bowers, but like I mean, I'm not against the idea. But like that being said, I also am with Joe Blewett on this. He's overrated. I just don't
Mm.
see it, man. Like especially if he doesn't block as well. So
There's just so much like volatility with taking a tight end so early. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it. The only like
when's
my
the
only
last tight
rationale
end?
for it is that this guy's gonna start compared
But
to
when's the
like where
last
you
tight end
hope
taken in
the
the
other
first
guys
round?
don't see the
Though
field.
that is
Sorry,
really
say
good. Like when's the last tight end in the first round that was really good? Like I just can't think of it. They take some time to
yeah.
develop. It doesn't matter if they start right away. They just don't contribute that much.
Laporta contributed
Usually.
pretty quickly. And Kincaid contributed pretty quickly. I would say if you draft the right tight end, it's absolutely worth a top 10 pick. I think it's the evaluation process that
Yeah,
sucks so much.
listen, I would love to get a top tier tight end. It's just I don't know who's the guy and how we can develop him. Like I just think like most of the good tight ends take a year or two to develop. Like I'm hoping for big things from the tight end we got last year. What's his face?
Kuntz. He's like
Yeah,
the
no, not
7th round
Kuntz.
pick though.
The other guy, the year before, the third rounder, Long Island boy. Like
Oh, Rucker. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got big
wanna see
hopes for him.
Yeah, so I'm hoping he does things and Conklin.
But
does
is that
things.
similar to like I have a lot of hope for Michael Carter, and then we go out and we get Brees Hall?
True, but the question is, you got to be really sure with Bowers, man. Bowers scares me. Like it's too boom or bust on him. I feel like
it really is, especially when so much of our success is going to be hinged on Brees getting open like holes in the run game and Aaron Rodgers staying upright. Like O-line, I feel like I use this analogy on Twitter, and I don't know if you guys saw this one, but the offensive line is like having, like if you go O-line in the first round, it's like having single ply toilet paper, and you just want to fold it up a few more times and you're going to be good. Like just so you don't get a finger in the bum. But if you take Bowers, you could get that finger in the bum, but it'll send you over the edge to ecstasy, but you may not have any soap in the soap dispenser afterwards.
I want toilet paper. I want lots of toilet paper.
Like, green bean, lima bean, not taking the finger in the bum. It's okay. You've been ejected from the cockpit. Lima bean, thank you so much for calling in. We've got Tigo joining the show. Tigo! How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man.
That's a sharp-looking shirt. Where did you get that shirt?
I don't know. Where did I get this shirt? Because
I think you got it from TalkingJets.com. If you want to see a Rodgers, Garrett Wilson 2024 Make New York Great Again shirt, bam. TalkingJets.com, baby.
Make it
I have a feeling your Armchair GM show tomorrow is going to be nuts over on the Talking Jets channel.
I hope so. I just want to. Can we just talk about how this is the best fan base of any fan base?
Oh, it's so good. It's so much fun. A
And
Taylor
like,
ham, egg, and cheese got us a wide receiver.
Well,
maybe some $15 million too.
I just like my thing is I don't ever want to hear anything from another fan base ever again. Ever again. From any sports team, from anywhere that is like soccer ultras are insane. I'll give it to them. They're probably better fans than we are. But when it comes to North American sports, there's not a single fan base of any singular team that is more dedicated, that is more pumped up. We got people in ghillie suits outside of the building to catch head coaches. We've got people finding flights for quarterbacks visiting. Like, dude, we're so insane. We got people sending Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwiches for players. Like, that's it. I don't want to hear a single thing from any other fan base. And like, here's the best part. None of us are bandwagons. There's nothing to bandwagon on. What are we hitching on to?
We've been stuck here forever. Misery loves company, baby.
13 years of not making the playoffs. That's the bandwagon you want to hitch to? Come on. So dude. I have just been in one of those like, man, this fan base is awesome. New York, I don't know if you saw it. I'm not gonna, but like, there's a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese for the win shirt going around that Matt designed.
They so the Jets just made the Taylor ham, egg, and cheese their profile picture on Twitter, and then the Nets gave him another sandwich. They're like, we saw you didn't finish this one. That's incredible.
Man.
So what's the pick at 10 now?
Don't pick at 10.
Oh yeah, that's the hope. We want to trade down.
Get Marvin Harrison, or go back and get Brian Thomas.
Do you think what would you have to give up to go up and get Marvin Harrison? Because it's not what Daniel Jeremiah said. Daniel Jeremiah said like a 2025.
You'd probably give up a third this year. You'd probably give up 72 this year, and then
plus the second.
It'd be the trade that Daniel Jeremiah said plus 72.
Yeah,
and I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. But
I think that's a baller move. Yeah. That's one where it's like, hey, we are going all in right now. And if I'm not mistaken, that Garrett would have played with Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Yeah, like there's that 1 year overlap.
Yeah, they were teammates. His Marvin Harrison's freshman year was Garrett's last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they were teammates. Just Harrison didn't see the field.
Tigo, any last words before I eject you?
No, man. This fan base is awesome. Go buy a shirt.
I love it. Tigo, we'll see you on Armchair GM. You've been ejected from the cockpit. Tigo. Always fun. We've got Hunter joining the line. Hunter, how you doing tonight, brother?
What's going on?
Dude, I'm feeling pretty good. We got a wide receiver. Not too shabby.
Yeah, I know. I got a question. So, I mean, what do you think about
Mhm.
pick 10? Do you think the consensus is like Bowers all the way, or do you have anybody else that you got your eye on?
I think a lot of it might hit. Well, I want to trade down. I'm very big on trading down because I do feel like we need
Yeah.
to add another weapon, and I do feel like we need to add another offensive lineman, particularly like a guard tackle hybrid. Someone like a Troy Fontenot or I would even take Fuaga or Latham. You can convince me on some guys in the second round, but I feel like if we only stay at 10 and you have your third round pick, I like the wide receivers more in the third round than I do the offensive tackles in the third round. But Bowers would be really fun. It's like the nice shiny toy, the luxury that you could kind of take a crack at. But at the same time, how much better is he going to be than like Conklin currently is? Like I'm so torn because I want to take Bowers, but then Blewett gets me all hot and bothered because he tells me like, oh, we can't block as good. And I'm like, yeah, no, I want like generational talent. So I'm
Yeah.
cop out, I guess. I want to trade down. I want to trade down.
Yeah. I mean, so I went to the Black Friday game against the Dolphins, and that was just one thing that I seen. We had no tight end presence. Like Conklin didn't really do anything that game. So it's like,
Mhm.
I want Bowers. That's what I'm
Mm.
thinking.
That's a home run threat. And I think the Jets are going to go that route. We're the favorites to draft Bowers. We had Michael Mayer on our, top 2 selections at pick 15 last year. I can absolutely see them wanting just 5 picks earlier to take an even better prospect in Bowers. I mean, that whole offense in Georgia was built around him. So if Brees goes down, if Garrett goes down, at least you have that home run threat at one of those levels as well.
Say we get him. What do you think our record would be?
I think next year, regardless of whether we get Bowers, regardless of any rookie, if we have the main pieces of our team stay healthy, we're going to get to 12 wins, I think. And I think we're going to win the East. I think that's my prediction.
What about the Bills or Miami?
I think Bills and Miami take a step back. I don't think either team is as good as they were last year for next year. And the Jets kind of took them to the ropes. Not so much Miami. Miami, had our number later on in the season. But Buffalo, we've beaten with Zach multiple times. So
Yeah.
Rodgers coming back, at the very least, if we get top 15 level quarterback play, we're going to be cooking with fire. And I think we're going to be a very tough team to beat. I just think the wild card route for us, if we had to go that direction, is going to be much more challenging with the AFC North and the AFC West divisions getting better. Herbert coming back, Burrow coming back, Watson coming back, Raiders kind of rejuiced and all that. So I don't know. You want Bowers at 10?
Yeah, I want Bowers at 10.
I love it, brother. You've been ejected.
Miami. I want Miami. Go Miami.
Yeah, I guess he's a Miami fan. That's all right. He wants Bowers at 10 because that's where he's going. Brian comes in and says, Jets are making such moves, but not much attention on mainstream sports media. Why? That's okay. I don't need to win the offseason, even though I feel like we are currently winning the offseason right now. I'm feeling pretty decent. So, Brian, I don't need the media attention. We had too much of it last year. All right, let's go over to Joe. Joe, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, and yourself? Sorry,
I'm hanging in there. I'm feeling pretty decent. We got ourselves a wide receiver. What's your plan now that we have Mike Williams on the team?
Man, just keep going. Let's keep going.
Bowers, tackle. What's the play at 10?
I don't want to tackle. I think that'd be stupid. I really think that you can get Bakhtiari on a cheap deal if Tyron Smith goes down.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any shot that like Bakhtiari would come in anyway before Tyron goes down, or if Bakhtiari's just going to sit and wait and almost like. I feel like he might get signed by the time Tyron gets hurt. That would be my only concern.
No, I want him in training camp. Let him get cleared. At that point, everybody's going to be worried about him. Aaron Rodgers, all that connection. I really think that there's a chance we can say, hey, man, sign as a backup. We know one of these guys are going to go down at some point. Give us a prove-it deal. Show people that you're healthy in 3 or 4 games and go get your money next year.
I would love that. I've thought Bakhtiari makes all the sense in the world. I thought we were going to go Bakhtiari over Tyron Smith, but I guess maybe the not surgery. The
uncertainty of his knee.
Yes. And I think that the
If
cleared
Tyron was
medicals from
signed,
Tyron. Mm,
yeah, if Tyron was signed somewhere, I think Bakhtiari. But the fact that he wasn't cleared fast enough, and you have
mm,
somebody that actually wants to come to you at a $6.5 million deal, you
mm-hmm.
can't pass that up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would sign the same deal for Bakhtiari too. If it was like playing time based, like, hey, you two duke it out. Whoever's better, you guys play. And then if someone gets hurt, you're going back in. Like, those are contracts that you can work with in the event that another player plays better. Same thing with Morgan Moses. Like, if the Jets do go tackle, $5.5 million is backup tackle money. Like, that's not, not terrible either way.
I don't want us to go tackle. I think at this point, Joe Douglas has kind of shown what he's built in the last few years. Yes, we've been upset about some things, but I think this year he knows that everything is going to come into play. And I don't think signing an offensive line, I get the idea of somebody going down, somebody getting hurt. Yes, but if you have a Brock Bowers out there that can spread off the offense, I mean, just remember back in the early Patriots days with Aaron Hernandez and Gronkowski. I mean, those guys ripped it up. Having two elite tight ends or decent tight ends is going to spread the field for other people to get open. If Mike Williams get hurt, who cares? We got Brock Bowers. If Brock Bowers is great, Breece Hall goes down. I just think that the Brock Bowers fits. Now, do I want him at 10? No. I think we should fall back a little and grab him at 13, 14, even 12. But I think that that's the best bet for us this year.
Let's say there's a scenario where the Bears just in front of us, or Bowers isn't on the table. Would you want to go with Odunze? Like, are you okay stacking wide receivers, or would you be more pressed to push back?
Receiver. I'd rather get the slot receiver in the third round and fall back a little further and get some second round picks.
So you would rather, at that point, if Bowers isn't there, you're probably thinking O-line in the first?
Yeah, fall back, get a O-line at that point, I'd be okay with. As long as that, I just don't. I'd rather get a slot receiver at this point than a placement for Mike Williams or Wilson. I don't know. It's tough. I'm excited though. This has definitely been a good offseason for us, and I'm excited to see where everything goes.
It feels like a smart offseason. Joe, thank you so much. You've been ejected from the cockpit. Boys and girls, if you'd like to call in number is pinned to the live chat. You can also scan the QR code on the screen. We're going to go over to Jimmy. Jimmy, how you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm feeling pretty decent. How are you feeling now that we have Mike Williams officially in the fold?
Well, it's another step up. I figured this was going to happen here.
Yeah, no, it feels good. Now, are you team offensive line, team trade down, team tight end?
I am team left tackle for the first pick. Whether if we stay at 10 or if we drop 7 or 8 paces back with either Jacksonville or Cincinnati, I am still offensive tackle. Joe Alt or who's that kid from Washington? Fashanu?
So Fautanu is from Washington. Fashanu is from Penn State. You have Fuaga from Oregon State, and you have J.C. Latham from Alabama.
Oh, okay. But yep, regardless of what we do, I hope we get at least one of those two.
It would be nice to kind of reassure your offensive line for sure. Like I don't want the situation where Breece can't get any yards and Aaron's running for his life. Like that'll make me sick.
Yeah, we kind of want to revisit 2010 when we had those mountain moving of offensive linemen, so anyone can just break through. Yeah, and then do the good old ground and pound. That's what it was called. Yeah.
Oh yeah, little LT, little Thomas Jones, little Sean Green action. I like that. You can have almost anyone run behind those offensive lines, and Breece is going to feast. I really think Breece is going 2,000 yards this season.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, we have enough. We have enough gap up front there. We can show us what Breece Lightning is all about.
Hell yeah! Now, if you were to go in the third round, is there a particular direction you want to see the Jets go?
Well, when it comes to this whole thing, I think a little different here. And as part of that, I've been looking into 20, kind of hedging 2025 picks. One such scenario was kind of looking at Arizona trading the rounds 1 and 3 for the 27-35. I mean, I'm just brainstorming here. Whether we either keep 10 to 17, like I said before, go left tackle, and then at 27, I did hear a rumor that KC was may take Ladd McConkey, and he's one that really impressed me at the combine. So definitely want to move up to 27 in front of KCC. So we'll take him, have another target because Mike Williams may be injury prone or not. But it's just nice to have an extra layer there.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like we all feel that way about the offensive line and wide receiver. There's no real concrete way to, more than one way to skin a cat, as they say.
Yeah.
Jimmy, thank you so much for the call. You better go look up it. Jimmy, thank you so much for the call. We're going to go over to Mutt Viles. Mutt Viles, how you doing, brother?
What's up, Ryan?
I'm feeling pretty decent. You thinking some Brock Bowers at number 10 is what the doctor ordered?
I'm a little more comfortable with it now, but I still don't want Bowers at 10.
Okay. Are you team trade up? Team trade down? Sit and take?
I'm really for that. I'm for all three. I don't mind trading. I'll go get Marvin Harrison. I like that.
That would be wild. Dude, we would go absolutely apeshit if that happened.
Could you imagine that?
If you see the Jets come up to number 5, and let's say quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, 4, is your gut feeling that it's Marvin Harrison, or is there also a thought like, is it Joe Alt? Like, I feel like it could go any one of those directions, and I don't know if I would know who it is off the bat.
I feel like if it was Joe Alt, then it would have to be after the Chargers pick. So it has to be like with the Giants or something, because they're rumored to go get a quarterback for some reason. Like, they're apparently hosting friggin' JJ McCarthy private workouts or something like that. I was like, seriously?
I think it's all smoke from them. I think they're locked into Daniel Jones. I think they're gonna they're hoping a team will trade in front of them with the Chargers or with the Cardinals, and one additional player falls back to them. I don't know who they're looking for, if it's Malik Neighbors. I don't think there's a way Marvin Harrison Jr. makes it to them, because I think he's either going 4 or 5, unless 2 teams move up for quarterbacks, in which case is it Bo Nix or fucking Penix going top 5. I don't know.
I can't see that. No way. If anything, they'd be in the back end.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what we do in the draft, though, because I think we're going to nail it no matter what. Rather it's Marvin Harrison moving up to 5, staying at 10, getting Bowers or Joe Alt, or going back to what everyone was saying, like, what's like between 13 and 17 and getting somebody. Yeah. I wouldn't mind doing that at all.
I would love to trade down. My fear is that we don't have someone on the clock or someone on the board at 10 that is trade up worthy. Like, it would I feel like we may have to fall too far back. Like, if the Eagles want to come up from 22 or 23, whatever pick they are we okay falling that far back if that's the only trade down option? I think I might be, honestly. Like, if it was sit and take the pick at 10 or drop back that far and get a second, I think I'm okay dropping that far back.
It would have to depend on if you have everything done. Because right now, it's like everything's done really well. We're going to need those, like, an edge of anything, maybe a number 3 receiver. And who do you want to back up running back behind Brees?
I mean, I would love to see Frank Gore Jr. I'm like such a fan of the legacy type
bring
players.
Back Frank Gore, no.
He gives me PTSD, and that's all right.
Watch. Him and Jerry Rice's son are both going to end up in San Francisco.
That's exactly how it's going to work. We know exactly how it's going down.
They're going to end up there. Somehow Marvin Harrison's going to end up with the Colts. And one thing, though, before I get ejected, what are we sending, or what does NYJ Matt have to send to the Jets to get Clowney to sign?
Oh man, what
do you
is
think
it? Another Taylor ham, egg, and cheese? Is it that? Do we switch it up and say, hey, you're gonna have some bacon or some sausage? I feel like Taylor ham's very Jersey. Maybe we gotta can we get a cameo from like Springsteen or Bon Jovi and have him sing fucking Clowney a lullaby or something? I feel like that would be incredible. Mutt Viles, you've been ejected from the cockpit.
You're out of here.
All right, we've got Aura on the line. Let's head over to Aura. Aura, how you doing tonight?
It's actually Aurora.
Aurora, I'm an idiot. I don't know how to pronounce words. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You're not as bad as Jake, because Jake is like Aurora. So you're not bad at all.
So what's on your mind? How you feeling? We finally got Mike Williams in the building. The Jet fan morale is kind of rising.
Yes. So going back to, I was being hands down about getting a veteran offensive line. I was very hesitant in going into the offseason thinking that we're going to have like one or two new starters, like rookies that are on this line, and like not knowing what like Carter Warren's going to be about or anything like that. Like I wanted to have that security. So now Joe D, he was able to do that for us, and now he has a weapon in Mike Williams. Now I think I'm more leaning towards trading back now. I think that we should accumulate a second round pick. I also think we need to go in the direction of a depth signing, like doing depth right now. I just think we haven't covered that yet. So whether that's Bakhtiari or someone else we bring in, I think we need depth right now. And that's overall what I'm thinking.
If you had to trade down, is there a position that you're leaning towards? Is it like that depth offensive lineman, or do you want to go somewhere else?
I think the swing tackle is where we're at. I think you have to do swing tackle, swing guard, kind of like someone like an AVT that can go in there in a punch. With that, again, I think the scheme wise, this is Aaron Rodgers' offense. At the end of the day, like he's the one who's going to be running this. He has to be the one who's has to be comfortable with the 5 men, the Secret Service, if you want to call it right now.
Love it.
The Secret Service. He has to be comfortable with that. I think getting a weapon is great, and I think we were able to do that today with Mike Williams. Is a priority right now? No, I think we have enough weapons as it is. Like we keep talking about Garrett Wilson having that breakout season, and he's doing great and everything like that, but I feel like he hasn't met his potential yet. Like we haven't scored the touchdowns. Like so I feel like we still need to utilize that. So I would rather go offensive line than wide receiver.
If we were to sign another depth piece, like let's say we brought back McGovern and maybe got another tackle. Like what if Becton signs dirt cheap somehow? Like would you steer more maybe the Brock Bowers route, or you want the youth side with the 5-year contract?
Well, so here's the thing, Becton, he's an injury risk.
He is. But if you're not counting on him to start now. Now it's like, okay, you're just because Bakhtiari's an injury risk too.
But then the question is that I have with any injury risk right now, if they're going to be injured, or they're going to play, but then they get injured because they're rusty and with the wheels. I'm very concerned about that.
So I think the PTSD from all of us and the offensive line stuff the last few years, I completely understand where people want to go like that guard tackle hybrid in the first round, even though it's a depth signing. It drives me crazy to do it. And I hope we don't have to do it at 10. I do hope we get the trade down and we get the second round pick. I like a lot more receivers in the second and third round than I do the offensive tackles. So I completely agree with you. Aurora, thank you so much for the call. You have been ejected from the cockpit. You're out of here. Oh no, I just hung up on my other caller. Other caller, call back in. I'll get you back on. I've got Mike the Barber and Alan on the line. Let me just go over to Mutt Vile's comment real quick over here. Jimmy from Seattle. There you go. Sorry, I accidentally booted you. No, was it Jimmy from Seattle? Was it Dylan? Henry? I think it was Henry. I think I kicked Henry out. Yeah, okay. So Henry's going to be our next caller because I accidentally booted him. But Mutt Viles comes in and says, one thing I meant to ask, what if the Vikings trade a haul for Justin Herbert and the Chargers reunite head coach with J.J. McCarthy? FYI, Super Bowl BB? Let's effing go. Brock Bowers, Super Bowl Brock Bowers, let's go. I think is maybe what he's saying. Okay, so I have heard this before. What if the Vikings trade a haul for Justin Herbert to go to Minnesota and the Chargers decide to take J.J. McCarthy? The issue with that thought process, I think, is that I think J.J. might go 4. And the Chargers may not get the opportunity to do it. Now, maybe I guess you wait till 5 rolls around. If they can make the pick, then you trade a Herbert or something like that. But man, that's a ballsy thing to do. I wouldn't do it. I think that would be bad business. I would absolutely keep Herbert over JJ, but who knows? Maybe they decide to go a different route here. Henry, let's go over to you. How you doing, brother?
I want to say let's fucking go Joe Douglas. He was so clutch. For the past, Mike Williams, great signing. He's literally everything Allen Lazard wants to be. Like Lazard can't create any separation, and I do think he'll be better, but I do think like he is such a bad receiver, and his body language was so bad. Like he gave up on play. I think
it wouldn't shock me if they cut him. I'll be honest. Like after June 1st.
But you think they would really cut him though, because he's still Rodgers' guy?
I don't know. It depends if he is Rodgers' guy, because it seems like Rodgers has been like also pounding the drum for we need another receiver, and I feel like if he was really his guy, he may not be as receiver. I don't know. Maybe not.
But do you think Lazard would have signed with us last year because he knew we were getting Rodgers? I assume.
I think he had a pretty good knowledge that we thought we could get Rodgers. We obviously couldn't guarantee it to him, but I'm cool with like chalking up Lazard to like, crap, it didn't work, but we got Rodgers. Like that, like that's fine. Like if the sacrificial lamb is $22 million to get Rodgers to decommit to $40 million and be our quarterback, I'm on board with it. We just wasted a roster spot for a year.
Randall Cobb, I mean, $1 million is fine. Jason Brown, like I don't like how last season we went with 3 undrafted free agents. We had Charles, Brownlee, and Gibson. Gibson had that one nice punt return, but then kind of fumbled.
He was shaky on kick returns. Yeah, it was. I saw it in training camp too, and it's funny because Hardman had the same thing, and I was glad Sauce called Hardman out on it on Ryan Clark's podcast, because I'm sitting in the stands, I'm like, Hardman can't catch a punt. He's putting everything on the ground.
He had a good Chargers game, kind of. He had a few catches, but yeah, it was. I don't know. I still want to. As I know it's hard to go tight end, but I was listening to you talking about how if with like all the 4 Titans in the championship game, Laporta, Kittle, Kelsey, like if you evaluate them well, then like I think Bowers could be special. Like he's so fast, he breaks every tackle. He's a monster. It's risky going tight end, but at the same time, why draft an O-lineman if he's going to sit behind? I mean, Tyron Smith might only play 13 games, but what if he does play the whole season? And then it's a waste of a pick this year where we could have a Super Bowl that Bowers could push us over to get a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I find myself. I find myself aligning more with a weapon. Now, maybe a little less so with wide receiver with Mike Williams coming in, at least initially. Bowers is that luxury pick. That's the forced missed tackles, doing it in the hardest conference in college football. Like I said, the evaluation process has been the problem with tight ends, not taking one in the top 10. Like Laporta, Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, every single one in a redraft would be a top 10 pick. So it's not the pick that would be the issue. It's just
one more question for it.
Let's go.
You let me go. Cortland's son, I know it's pretty off the table. Is there any way we could still make a trade for him? I mean, I know his contract's kind of expensive, but you don't.
We already tried. So I know that we tried to trade a 4th round pick and Lazard for Jerry Jeudy to Denver, and Denver said no to Lazard's contract, and they wound up trading Jeudy for a 5th and a 6th to the Browns instead. So I don't think. I think the Jets would have to move Lazard to get some type of deal like that to work, and Denver just didn't want him for Jeudy anyway, so I don't think they're going to want him in place of Sutton. I think Sutton stays there at this point, and I really like Sutton. I would have loved to have him.
All right, thank you. I have a nice one. Appreciate it.
Henry, you've been ejected from the cockpit. You're out of here. All right, we've got Mike the Barber joining the show. Then we've got Jimmy from Seattle. Mike the Barber, how you doing, brother?
Hey, guys. I'm leaning more towards getting a weapon like Marvin Harrison Jr. When you get this opportunity to be that dynamic with the run game and to stretch the field out like someone like Marvin Harrison Jr., a great guy, like you have to go. I'm an offensive line fan just like everybody else. Of course, I want to get Joel, but when you get a dynamic guy like this, you just take it. I mean, could you imagine these 3 guys going out every single play?
It's nuts. It's Looney Tunes. The part with me with Marvin Harrison Jr. is how much is it going to cost us to get up to number 5? Because I feel like you're talking
2nd round pick.
I think it's going to be our 3rd this year and a 2nd round pick next year. I think you're going to have to give up both. To move that far up, I would be surprised if it was anything less than that. And then at that point, like, right? Does Mike Williams all of a sudden give us all the fucking like stones in the world to now say, okay, we're trading our picks, we're going up to number 5? Because that's what it feels like. Like I've seen so many fans today say, Marvin Harrison Jr., we got to go for it. And like, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't disagree with it. It's just, it's funny how the one signing of a 1-year Mike Williams kind of gives us that juju of like, oh, screw it, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go get the receiver.
Right? We have a 3-year window, so
sure. What about Bowers at 10? Like, is like, would you be okay with Bowers at 10 if they decided to pull the trigger, or is the tight end spot still a little too squirrely?
I think if you have any doubt, I think it's just not your guy. Is that right?
That's fair. Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to put that. And first round really should be about the best player available, not doing it for need at a particular position, because this guy's going to be with you for 5 years. And if they deem that, you know, the offensive lineman is going to help our young quarterback in 3 years from now, while also helping us immediately right now, and maybe it gives us positional flexibility with AVT and Tittman and everything along those lines, maybe that's how they think. Or they're going to think, hey, we got to go in all in right now. Marvin Harrison Jr. would be a hell of a get for the New York Jets at number 5.
How about that, huh? You got to think of how much he can give to an organization. We're talking about, there's just, like you said,
perfect frame. I mean, they built him in a lab.
Yards for 10 years.
Yeah. They built him in a lab. They're like 6'4", 200 pounds.
He wants to play football.
Yeah, his whole life's football.
This isn't about money.
That's what it feels like, right? Like his dad played forever. Oh, dude, I'm gonna have to start watching more interviews with Marvin Harrison. If you had told me Marvin Harrison might be an opportunity,
who is number 1 receiver at that point?
I mean, it's Garrett Wilson. Then it's probably Marvin Harrison Jr. at that. Like, I don't know. They all provide something different. To me, I feel like getting Marvin Harrison Jr. on the field I don't want to say it could be similar to like a backup offensive lineman that will eventually play, but like I wonder where that player is in the pecking order of targets, because you got to figure Breece and Garrett are 1-2, and then after that you're probably talking Conklin, and then it's either Mike Williams or Marvin Harrison Jr. So how much do you want to invest in option 4? But then they still become an option 1. Like, God forbid you lose Garrett, Marvin Harrison Jr. can step right in with Mike Williams, and I think they'd be fine. Like, getting a dynamic playmaker in round 1, I feel like is more important. God forbid you lose one of your playmakers, because then you're up shit's creek in the worst way. Mike the Barber, thank you so much for the call. You have been ejected from the cockpit. Mike the Barber, everyone. Boys and girls, if you'd like to call in number is pinned to the live chat, as well as the QR code on the screen. Feel free to chime on in. Would love to hear your thoughts. We're going to go over to Anthony right now. Anthony, how are you doing, brother?
What's up, man?
I'm feeling pretty good.
So fucking hype. I'm sorry.
Dude, I'm sitting downstairs. Becca's getting everything ready for dinner. The kids are screaming and crying and like stuff's going on. I was like, Becca, I got to go upstairs to live stream. They just signed Mike Williams. She's like, I'm going to kill you. It's like, I love you.
This whole week has been insane. JD's cooking, and I love the contracts too. 1 year, 2 years.
Yep.
The contracts are great. It doesn't handcuff us.
Laden.
Yeah. It makes me like happy that if this Rodgers thing doesn't work, that we're not in like deep shit.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. This getting Mike Williams is probably like the perfect thing, because then it will let us either draft best player available. If we're able to draft out to go down the draft and like get something like, I actually like someone like Barton.
Ooh, yeah. You like the flexibility of the interior offensive lineman, right? So that's the Duke interior offensive lineman, guard, tackle.
I think he plays tackle too. So like that's what's interesting. Most of our players are like, they're either old or like often injured. So if you put him in, he can also play center, I think. So
I think you're right. I think it's a 5-position type player.
Yeah, so like if you get something like him, like you go down, get someone like him, and then you can plug him in if ever someone gets injured, and then even if let's say Tittman gets injured, then we still have a center in him. So that would be interesting for me, like
especially because maybe they didn't. Joe Douglas has said, "Hey, I want to keep one extra offensive lineman." Compared to what we did last year, I think we kept 9. Maybe he wants to keep 10, or maybe we kept 8 and he wants to keep 9, whatever it was. But if you do that, that almost gives you multiple offensive linemen in a sense, because they can play so many, or he can play so many different positions. So I do like that. Getting someone that's kind of like an AVT clone in a sense, like Troy Fautanu or I still feel like Fuaga or Latham, either one of those guys could bump into guard if you needed to as well. Now they don't have the center flexibility, but I feel like you could make do with like bringing back McGovern in a pinch as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but I feel like Latham is probably going to be gone if we trade down, right? Like he'd be
Yeah,
awesome because he played both
it
tackles.
depends how far back we go. Like I think the Raiders, if they don't go quarterback, are going to go tackle. I think
I'm hoping
the Rams
Raiders trade up,
or I think the Saints could go
to get a quarterback.
That would be incredible if they come up and we can get like their second round pick and pick 13, and then we pick Bowers at 13 or something like that. Would you be down for Bowers, or are you thinking more just offensive line in the first round? Like don't touch the tight end.
I've been on Bowers train since the beginning, man. Like,
oh yeah,
Bowers is he's a weapon, man. It's like saying like if I gave you the option of getting Travis Kelce, would you do it? Kelce doesn't block, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? It's one of those things. It's like the evaluation process was wrong on Kelce and Kittle and Andrews and Laporta. Those guys right now in a redraft would be top 10 picks in their drafts. So if you evaluate the tight end correctly, and if Bowers is going to be one of those tight ends, every damn day worth the 10 pick. No questions asked. Anthony, thank you so much for the call. You have been ejected. If my chicken wants to go across the screen from the cockpit, there's the chicken. See, that's what happens when I have too many people on the line right now. I let you guys all into the green room and I screwed up. It's okay. We've got Abe coming up next. Steve just says, we are in a better place today than 1 week ago, but we did get some older injured guys, and we need to stop talking Super Bowl. Instead, just talk playoffs and pray. Love your show. Steve, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Thank you for loving the show, but you're wrong. I'm going to be talking Super Bowl. We got Aaron Rodgers. We didn't get Aaron Rodgers in here to do bounced out of the first round of the playoffs. Come on. I'm here for Super Bowl or bust, baby. I'm going to be excited for this no matter what. It's going to happen. I'm going to get my hopes up and they'll all come crashing down, and that's okay. I can live with that. Abe, how you doing, Abe?
What up, Ryan? It's been a minute.
Yeah, not too bad. I got you loud and clear. How are you feeling in terms of the Jets draft, where we could potentially go with the rest of our free agent dollars? What's on your mind?
I'm just super excited. I've been waiting to talk to fellow Jets fans all day. It's been a crazy day. In terms of the draft, I've mentioned this on Richie's stream before. My goal, what I would like to do is I would like to trade back a couple spots, pick up a second round pick. The guy on my mind is Troy Fatanu, or however you say his last name. I just really like the versatility, how he could be a tackler, he could be a guard. But I forget who I was. I think I was watching Brett Coleman break him down, and I like his breakdowns. I know he's like, not everybody, nobody's gonna be perfect all the time, but his breakdown of Fatanu, I really liked it.
I like Coleman a lot.
I think it would be good, like if we draft, a left tackle now, or tackle now, and then he could sit behind Tyron Smith. I know people are gonna say like our first rounders should be like immediate impact player, and like I understand that. So I'm not opposed to a weapon. Like I'm like listen, after today, like the draft can go like obviously not. However, like I would rather not get a defensive player, obviously.
Oh, I'd lose my cool. Like, if we go cornerback at number 10, I might throw my computer out the window.
Good Lord. I don't even know what I would do. I'm just really excited to see how it goes, because, it's been mentioned a lot before. Like, we have so much flexibility now to where like we can go like any way. We don't necessarily need to pick this guy or that guy. Like, we can go all sorts of ways, and that's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, for sure. Now, as far as the third round goes, like I know we have so much flexibility. Let's say there's a situation where we can't trade down, because I've kind of projected that 4 quarterbacks are going to go before that 10 pick, and it might be tough to get the trade down unless we can convince the Broncos and Raiders that quarterback 5, their division rival, is going to go for it, and it's worth it for them to come up the 2-3 picks. Is there a player that you would sign off on taking at 10 right now, like as opposed to being able to trade down?
You've mentioned him a couple times on your streams, Brendan Rice, the wide receiver. I mean, Jerry Rice's son.
So Brendan Rice in the third round.
Even like an interior offensive lineman, another tackle?
You could go with an interior offensive lineman at 10. Hey, thank you so much for the call. You've been.
I mean,
ejected from the cockpit. You're out of here. Oh boy, I'm excited to see what this one has in store for me. We've got Gator joining the show. Gator, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Ryan? How are you, you handsome bastard?
Oh man, I'm not as handsome as when I'm dressed up like a slight clone of myself coming from you. You do a really good job. Right. Your edits are incredible.
I'll do that. Does it make you more comfortable, Ryan?
That is perfect. Better? It's like looking in a mirror, my friend.
Yeah, I want to make you happy, and it's been a exciting week, of course, and we made this guy happy, and that's all I care about. That's my number 8. But I did get mad the other day, and I destroyed my my Allen figure. So Allen used to be Arthur? Attached. Well, it's Allen.
Oh, yeah.
And I ripped him apart. I got pissed off because he said something in the chat.
Did he say something mean to you? Alan, do I have to eject your ass from the chat right now? I think I saw him in there. He is in there.
And thank God for him, of course. That's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah. Now,
I got plans for him.
What do you want to do at 10? I'm fascinated to know.
Well, okay. So first of all, I sat through 368 mock drafts between you and all these other content creators, and I want my money back because there's really no point in these freaking mocks, because once these free agent period takes off, right, and we start grabbing players, take this one, take that one, well, you throw all those mocks out the window. They don't mean shit anymore now, do they?
Nope.
So
I use it for reconnaissance.
I think you owe me $1.99 for a super chat. And I got to call Green Bean. He owes me I think it was $4, but that's okay. Yeah. So I want to trade back to 5, right? With that crazy ass thing. But then once we get there, I want to trade back out and get another 7 picks. What do you think?
I think that makes perfect sense. If we can beat the Vikings to 5 and then get their 2 first-round picks and go back, now we got 2 first-round picks for the price of what Daniel Jeremiah deems to be a 2025 second-round pick. I think we're creating energy out of nothing.
We're wheeling and dealing, pal. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be like the what do you call it? The general manager thingy.
Sure.
But honestly, here's my serious deal. I think we've got our starters, right? Now we just need our backups. So let's try to condense what we have and get more backups. I'd rather have 2 or 3 guys that can fill in for one of these starters that are ultimately going to get hurt than get one guy and then not get another guy till the 3rd round. That's not enough guys. We got a stockpile, but we got our starters, right? We got our core. I think there's a good core, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm feeling pretty decent as long as they stay healthy. That's my biggest concern. But then, like you said, if you want to go with the backups, how many back? Oh no! I need to eject you. You're making me sad, Gator. I love you so much. Thank you for the call in, brother. You're out of here. You're always appreciated. If you guys haven't followed Gator McCluskey and all of his edits and his comedy, dude's a gem. He is a Jet fan gem. And we should all be grateful that he's here. Thank you, Gator, for calling in. We've got Ryan's flow chart joining the show. Is this one Gator too? It's not Gator. Dude, I was dying when I saw that backstage.
You hear me, man?
I got you loud and clear.
All right, so I was very impressed with your Canva artistry.
Thank you.
No, I was certain because I was watching the broadcast earlier, and Ryan and Green Bean were so confused with it. But I remember reading it when you came out with it, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of see it, but I got lost a little bit, just like Greenbeat.
With
And
the arrow,
Mac,
right? Like the dotted
yeah,
arrow, I
the
think
arrow to
fucked
the
people up.
no,
I didn't realize that
I
the
came up
arrow
with my
back
own.
the other way. If it was an arrow that only directed from the right side of the chart to the left side, that would have made more sense.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's just Bauer's available. If you could see that, yes, win or no, win. Pretty much that's all you need to do. Like Gator, I mean, dude, I've been a Jets fan forever. I am burned. I am super just, what's the right word?
Frustrated? Salty?
Frustrated. Yeah, salty, all of those, man. I mean, I remember my family we were watching the butt fumble. I remember being a Jets fan in '98. I'm a little bit older, man, and my favorite is Corbett and Martin.
Yep.
And that O line, Fabini, Mawai, Ferguson. I need that line again. I really need who do you want? What would you rather have? So 2 O line out or Garrett Wilson, right? So you really need to draft on, what's the consequence, right? So
is that
I
a
think Garrett
first
Wilson,
round thought process though? So that's what I'm not sure of. Is I get the idea of going like a guard tackle to keep you upright and to keep like O-line hinges, like everything else hinges off the O-line. So Garrett getting open isn't going to matter if the offensive line doesn't hold long enough for Rodgers to get the ball out. Brees is going to need, running space. So offensive line makes a ton of sense there as well. But in an ideal world, we have our starting 5 and this rookie that we drafted 10, if it's a backup, player that's eventually going to fill in, we don't want to see him the entire year in a best case scenario. So like, that's the only part that I sort of struggle with is like, I'd almost rather go Bowers and hope that the Jets have enough faith in a Carter Warren to be the backup in an emergency pinch. Or like, even if they had to like break glass in case of emergency on AVT kicking back out. Like that's sort of the route I would prefer to go and go with the weapon, because Bowers gives you something that you just don't have right now. And I like Conklin, but Conklin to me right now is almost like the Michael Carter to Breece Hall, where it's like, oh, we really liked Michael Carter. I did not think we were going to go running back in the second round, but man, I'm really glad we went running back in the second round that year. That's almost sort of where I feel with like Bowers, but the risk at tight end at 10 is just so high. It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, dude, I feel you, man. I mean, the way I see it is our backups. Like, who does Joe D like really believe in? I mean, we have Gibson, and for wide receiver, and we have the other guy who was undrafted, and then we have Schweitzer, we have Warren. I mean, I would like, who are you putting your faith in for starting? Actually, I mean, even third string, we have Alan Lazard. So I'd say our wide receiver core is stronger right now than our O line. That's why I would still go like a guard or a tackle for
my poll question that I put on Twitter, because I'm a 10-year-old in my head, was if you have a thin offensive line, it's like using single-ply toilet paper. And you know what? It might be worth it for us to double up the toilet paper so we don't accidentally get a finger in the bum. But at the same time, that finger in the bum might send you over the edge into ecstasy where you could get into a Super Bowl. But at the same time, if the offensive line gets hurt, then you might not have soap in the hand dispenser, and you might have a stinky finger the rest of the day. So I don't know which way it goes.
Way of thinking about it, and abstract. Yeah,
I hope it's on Joe Douglas's board. Finger in the bum, 2-ply toilet paper. Which one are we going with? Ryan's flowchart. Thank you so much for the call. You have been ejected from the cockpit, boys and girls. That was a lot of fun. Let's say we are at I think I'm at the hour mark right now. Is that where I'm at right now? Yeah, we are at the hour mark. Let's wrap it up here. Call-in show in the books. Boys and girls, if you could hit that like button for me on the way out, it goes a long way towards helping the channel grow. People know. You know what? Hold on. I want to take Alan's call. Alan had his head exploded, so I want to take Alan's call real quick. Let's do Alan. Alan, how you doing, brother?
Evening, guys. Evening, Ryan. First of all, I appreciate the diligent work. I felt honored when Gator ripped my head off the other day. I don't know what to say, but that was one of my prouder moments in my life. So I was honored
That's right.
by that.
Yeah. Birth of your children, getting married, Gator popping my head off. Perfect.
Oh, it was beautiful. I couldn't believe he did it. And he did it with such a straight face. That was the best part.
Passion.
Yes. As far as the Jets are concerned, and again, it's March 19th, so I know we have 5 weeks to go. What I see at pick 10 might be different now than in 5 weeks.
Sure.
At 10 right now, I don't see the Jets keeping that pick and taking a tackle. And I'll tell you why. I just don't see them picking a player who'll sit on the bench to start the year. Do I want Bowers at 10? I love the player, don't get me wrong, and I think he can block. I know people say he can't block. I think he could block, okay? I could see them moving up maybe to 8 and getting a Dunze, or maybe going up a little higher and getting a Neighbors. That's not what I want to do. Again, I worry about this offensive line. We have two 30-something-year-old tackles. So my goal is to go back. Again, I look at 3 teams. I look at Indianapolis at 15. I look at Cincinnati at 18, and I look at Philadelphia at 22. Indianapolis,
those are 3 good teams.
Indianapolis and Cincinnati would move up to go get Bowers, and Philadelphia would go up and get the number 1 cornerback in Quinyon Mitchell. Again, Indianapolis would be a team to get a 3rd, and maybe Cincinnati and Philly to go get a 2nd-round pick. Again, I love the 2nd-round receivers in this draft, whether it's Pearsall or whether it's Roman Wilson. The guy I'm targeting, I know a lot of people have been talking about Troy Fautanu. The guy who intrigues me the most, and I think he could use half a year of development behind Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses, is Amarius Mims. That's the guy that intrigues me, because I think he's a guy in 3 years who could be the best tackle out of the entire class. Do I think the Jets will do that? I have no idea right now. I don't. Again, this is a 2-year window. I've seen all the dead cap money already set up for 2026, and that scares the shit out of me. So I think they're going to pick a guy in the 1st round that's going to be an immediate contributor. I really do. I would rather than go get a tackle to work behind Moses and Smith, because I just don't think those guys are going to play throughout the year. Whether I'm right or whether Joe Douglas goes with the immediate satisfaction of getting a guy who can get on the field right away, I have no idea. But I want to get a tackle, and I want to get a guy who's interchangeable. Even if you move back and you get a Jackson Powers Johnson, a guy who could play both inside at center at guard, he's interchangeable. But again, do I think the Jets will do that? I don't. I don't think they will stay at 10 and take a tackle. I think they'll stay at 10 and take a pass catcher, whether it's Bowers or Odunze. So that's my thought.
I could definitely see it. I mean, I think the Jets right now are for the favorite for Bowers, which I think when you're looking at the top 10 just makes the most sense, considering where we had Mayer on our draft board last year and, needing a pass catcher. Bowers would be a hell of a swing. It really would. I feel like that gives you the home run threat. Alan, thank you so much for the call.
Thanks a lot, man.
Ejected from the cockpit. We've got Frank the Tank joining the show. We'll go over to Frank the Tank, and then I'll wrap this up here. Frank, how you doing, brother?
Hey, how you doing, Ryan? Good to see you, bro.
You have amazing Wi-Fi. That is a really good camera, by the way, just so you know.
It's just a regular iPhone, that's all.
Well, whatever it is, it looks beautiful. Set up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know if you remember, but I called in last week, and I told Jets Nation just to be patient, give them a little Aaron Rodgers message. We need to relax. We didn't need to overpay for any of these free agents. Never worked out for us in the past, as I stated before. And look at all these amazing deals we got. Imagine if we would have signed.
Imagine getting Jonah Williams for fucking $15 million a year for 2 years. We'd be pissed compared to what Tyron signed for.
Absolutely. And we filled all 3 holes for just about the same price.
Wild. I think it was $13 million, I think, is what we signed all our offensive linemen for in guaranteed money.
unheard of. But Joey D just keeps on wheeling and dealing, and he always keeps his options open and available. Nobody would have ever thought that trading for our right tackle would have been in our deck of cards, but look at what he did.
No way. Morgan Moses might be the best tackle that would have been available on the free agent market if he hit the free agency market. And we got him for $5.5 million and a 6th-round pick. Like, done. I could kiss you, Joe Douglas. I was pumped on this. So what do we do at 10? Tell me that.
At 10, I mean, we have the flexibility to just move any which way direction we kind of want. If we stay at 10, my preferable options will be like a Joe Alt. If he's there, I feel like he's too much of a blue chip prospect for us to pass up on, especially if Tyron Smith was to get injured.
Sure.
And on top of that, it's only a 1-year contract, so there's no guarantee that he's going to be here in the future. And not only that, I think a young player learning from a Hall of Fame talent like that really pays dividends for their career in the future.
So if Alt's not there, like let's say he goes 7 to the Titans, are you comfortable with the next like few tackles? Do you want a wide receiver? Would you be okay with Bowers? I think a lot of people sort of after Alt feel like trade down is like the direction a lot of us want to go, but I'm not so sure we can get out of it. So let's say Alt's gone and you can't trade down. What would be your next pick?
All right. So if we can't trade down, I will take Olu Fashanu. I feel like he will be a great player to learn under Tyron Smith. Aroma Dunze, I feel like that will be great as well. Gives us some insurance policy just in case if Mike Williams was to get injured. But not only that, like I said, same thing with tackle. It's only a 1-year contract. We still need players after this year. So I'll be more than happy with Aroma Dunze. My personal preference, though, I would like to trade down to gain some assets back, especially a 2nd-round draft pick that we lost in the Aaron Rodgers trade, which would be crazy to think about if we could get that pick back. That'll be amazing. And it's crazy how this offseason worked out for the simple fact that the draft is so deep in our positions of need at O-line and receiver. So I have no issue with us trading down. But if we do trade down, I will prefer to get O-line trade down and then go receiver in the later rounds, considering this wide receiver class is really deep and you can find plenty of weapons like a Brian Thomas or somebody similar like that.
Xavier Legette, Roman Wilson, there's Xavier Worthy, AD Mitchell might be there in the second round. Like there's a lot of players in the second round from a receiver standpoint that I feel much more confident in than I do the offensive tackles once you get beyond like Tyler Guyton and Amarius Mims. Once you start dipping that far low, then it's like, ooh, I don't know if I want to go that far. Frank the Tank, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. All right, we got another call. We got Jet Clown Dave. Jet Clown Dave. How you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm so glad to have you here.
Hey, you know what? Screw this shit, man. We're for real this time, baby. We're for real this time. You know what? We fixing this O-line right now, right?
Damn right.
We fixing the O-line. We fixing the receivers. We fixing the coaching. Everything's looking good. We looking good. Life is beautiful. And everything's going to run through Rodgers. Through Rodgers, baby. Okay?
It's gonna
We're
have
going to run through Rodgers.
So what's the pick at 10 then? If it's going to run through Rodgers, do you need the offensive line in front of him to run through Rodgers, or do you need the weapon for him to cook?
I go with the offensive line, man. I'd go with the offensive line. I think we still have other moves we can make, but ultimately we got to protect that guy, no matter what. He cannot get hurt. If this guy is the franchise right now, this guy is our franchise right now, and we have to put everything we can to protect the guy. And we got Mike Williams now, and we're looking good. So you could tell I'm extremely excited. I was just a month ago, I was still disgusted, and the bad taste was still in my mouth.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So How you doing, man? Good seeing you, bro. Ryan,
Dude,
how's your
I'm
daughter?
feeling.
How's your family, my man?
I'm feeling halfway decent. Girls are sleeping. I got a little bit of bottle rejection from our youngest, Ren. She's not taking a bottle right now, which has been super stressful. Not fun. So, like, she just started daycare 2 days ago, not taking a bottle. So now we're stressed at night. I'm not sleeping a whole lot. So, like, I'm gonna start getting bags under the eyes. But overall, not too shabby. Everything, all things considered, I'm feeling pretty happy right now.
And just like the Jets, that's going to turn around. And my prayers for you for that to go smoothly and to temporarily think. And my best wishes to you and your family. And I'm just going to say a couple more things.
Yeah, of course.
I just want to say, man, these Patriots these Patriots fans are a joke, bro. These Patriots fans are a joke. And these Dolphins fans, bro, I want to stick it to the Dolphins, man. I want to stick it to them. Okay?
I love it. I love the energy.
Hey, the Bills are cool. They're cool, but they're still different. But these Dolphins, I want to stick it to them. I want to stick it to the Dolphins.
I just squish the fish.
Fish. During the Bills and Dolphins game, the last one of the season, I was at this Bills bar and they had a dolphin being hung, like a dolphin doll being hung down outside the bar. Yeah, it was crazy.
I love it. Jet Cloud Dave, thank you so much. Jets. Jet Clown Dave, thank you so much for the call in there. Always love it. All right, boys and girls, that's gonna be it for me. I'm gassed. I'm exhausted. I've got a baby that's not sleeping real well. Always looking for food in the middle of the night that I can't give because she's rejecting a bottle and my nipples don't work the way the wife's do. So, boys and girls, this is gonna be Jets Talk. I'm signing off tonight. I think I'm gonna do a mock the mock for Mel Kiper's 3.0 mock draft. I have that set up. If you guys want me to go live for that, let me know. Maybe I'll do a go live for Mel Kiper's mock draft, and I kind of break that down. Usually I just post them and just let them go live, but I can't make money off those anyway, so maybe live stream's the way to go and just discuss it regardless. I don't know. Boys and girls, let me know in the comment section down below if that's what you want me to do, but that's going to be it for me tonight. This is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.